Hello class, welcome to Unit 10, Gathering and Using Information, Marketing Research, and Marketing Intelligence. So marketing research and marketing intelligence. Marketing research is the process of collecting, analyzing, and reporting marketing information used to improve a company's bottom line. Market research is the process of researching a specific market to determine its size and trends. Then market intelligence involves gathering information on a regular, ongoing basis to help a firm's decision makers, helps a firm stay in touch with what's happening in the marketplace. So this slide just defines the different parts of marketing research and why marketing research and market intelligence is important for a firm. Marketing research. Marketing research can help accomplish the following tasks. You can develop product ideas and designs, determine if there is demand for your product so you know whether or not to produce it. It can identify market segments for your product, make pricing decisions, evaluate packaging types, evaluate in-store promotions, measure the satisfaction of your customers or your channel partners, evaluate the effectiveness of your website, test the effectiveness of ads and their placement, and then making marketing channel decisions. Marketing intelligence. Gathering market information is an ongoing process. So internal documents can capture the important information. Internal documents means anything that you access within your organization, whether it's on the share files, whether it's on the company's intranet. Those are the information that's considered internal. The challenge is to integrate the information in a useful manner. And that's what is expensive, but also it is very important that the information that you gather is not just random information. You have to make sure that what you're gathering is going to be useful for your marketing campaign and for the organization as a whole. Any contact a company has with its customers is a touch point. Sharing the information with various operating divisions aids in solving similar problems. So it's very important to know how to utilize marketing intelligence in a way that provides information for your marketing campaign, for your organizational, your operations, for anything dealing with the organization so that you are successful in your goals and the company's mission. What is big data? All of you guys have heard this. This is not a new concept. I'm sure all of you know what big data is. It's a buzzword and it's used to refer to the massive amounts of online offline data being gathered today, such as previous purchases, marital status, credit ratings, eating exercise habits, preferred brands, and pastimes. Often, big data is collected by internet-connected devices such as mobile phones and fitness trackers. And all of you know that when you go onto a website now, there's always that pop-up that says, do you want to turn off any of the marketing, any data that is saved? And then you have the option for the tracking data. Usually it's not, you don't have the option to take that off, but you have the option to turn off the functional data. You have the option to turn off like knowing passwords or anything internal. But the one thing they're trying to do with all these messages that pop up and say, oh, there's this website contains cookies that track your progress throughout our website. The reason why they put those in is to better see what consumers are really looking at on their website and what is marketing the best. What what product is doing the best in their organization. Marketing information systems. So this is a whole class, but this is just a really quick um, breakdown of what marketing information systems is. So marketing information systems should include the following content components. It should be a system for recording internally and externally generated data and reports, a system for collecting market intelligence on an ongoing basis. It should have marketing analytics software to help managers with their decision making, and it should include a system for conducting and recording marketing research information. Internally generated data and reports. So clickstream data is generated by the number of people who visit your website, how much time they spend on your website, what they like and don't like, and what they buy and don't buy. So while you're on a website, the company or organization that you may be looking at is tracking what how many times you visit their website, uh, how much time did you spend there, and where was your attention uh, going to? Was it going to the products? Was it going to the history of the company? What were you interested in? And then, of course, did you buy anything or didn't you buy anything, and why? And they try to determine that from following your footsteps, let's say, on their website. Intranet, we talked about that earlier. That's where you can get internal data. It looks like the web, but limits internal sensitive information access to employees only. So within the organization, you may have something that looks like the internet, like Google, Edge, Safari, search engines, but it's specifically for your organization. And this is used in big and small businesses, but most likely in big businesses because the like creating and developing an intranet within your organization takes time and money. Data mining is filtering data using analytics software to retrieve relevant pieces to answer specific questions. Data warehousing is combining data into one location. You can see Apple's data warehouses um, in, I think it's in Central California, and you all over the United States, wherever they have a warehouse, I'd like you to look that up and see just how big those warehouses are. Then you have the dashboard, a screen on a computer that makes data easily understood. Also allows managers to detect marketing trends. So the first extra credit question that I'd like you guys to think about, or if you would like to answer, is to figure out what companies utilize data mining, and how does a company utilize, like what do they use to get the data, to mine the data. Again, the extra credit question is what companies use data mining and what do they use to mine the data? Hopefully that was as clear as can be. But if you have any questions, of course, you can ask. Analytics software. Analytics software allows managers to gather all kinds of different information from a company's databases. Information not produced in reports regularly generated by the company. Predictive analysis. So an advanced branch of analytics that detects patterns and develops models to predict future outcomes. It utilizes data mining, statistics, experiments, and machine learning. So these have all links, and I'll also upload this to the course website so that you guys can click on these links and it can show you potentially the answer to the extra credit question. So if you're ever wondering what is data mining, and really you don't just want to know the definition, like you want to see how they do it. So you can click on this, and it's just a quick article. Let's make sure these pop-ups don't. Those are the pop-ups I'm talking about. So you can look, I'm going to let you go ahead and read through this article. It tells you what data mining is, why is it important, all the information that you may need for the extra credit question. All right. So then let's go back to our presentation. Statistics. All of you should know what statistics is. I'm sure some of you took it in high school. Some of you are still in high school and may be taking it in your senior year, or maybe you even took it in your junior year. But if you want to learn more about it, this is a website that, and like I said, this is the message that comes up when they want to track you. You can manage it. You don't have to give them the right to look for, like, to get into your computer and see the functions. You can just say, okay, go ahead and track my information. Back to what is statistics? What does statistics do in marketing? You need to know the current statistics for different things. Maybe you want to know the statistics of how your product is going to fare in the marketplace. Or is your target market at the level, like, is your target market at the level that your marketing team reported? How much of your target market is in the area that you are going to be servicing? These are statistics that your company needs to know, your marketing team needs to know. So this website, HubSpot, a lot of companies use this. You can go through it and see just what types of reports can be generated from HubSpot. HubSpot is a website/software that can provide your company with marketing reports and statistics for any information that you may need for your organization. Okay. Then we want to know why are there experiments in marketing? Marketing is supposed to be just researching numbers and statistics, data. Why do we have to do experiments? Well, of course, experiments are going to help you to better predict and justify your findings, right? So if you want to see that different types of marketing experience and test ideas that businesses have utilized in the industry, you can go ahead and utilize this report right here. It shows you 21 marketing experiments that were used, and just read through it. And these are all optional. Machine learning. So all of you know that AI is taking over. It's not taking over the human race, but it is taking over a lot of the functions that may have been tedious or, let's say, redundant. They can streamline the information and have it ready for you in a useful pattern or report. And it's up to you, the organization or you yourself, how you utilize AI. It can be good and it can be bad. So there are pros and cons of AI, and you can read this article, which just gives you some examples on how they're utilizing machines to learn different concepts within marketing in order to track. Maybe they want AI to track how much of their target market is really purchasing their product, and what can they do better to get their product out there, and how can they do a better method of targeting their market segment. So there, I'll let you look at these four links. It's optional. There's no extra credit for this, but the data mining can help you with the initial extra credit question, the first one. Like I said, artificial intelligence, AI, it's out there, it's working. We are all using it. Professors are aware that students are using it as well. Um, be sure that when you're using AI, you're using it in a way that, let's think. Okay, so you want to use AI in a way that assists your learning. If you utilize AI to get all the answers that you need, you're not really learning anything. But that is really up to you. As you move through college and you move on to the universities, they're cracking down on the use of AI. So I advise you guys to use AI to help you like provide a more broader understanding of a concept, but for you to expand on that concept with your own understanding. But artificial intelligence is the ability of machines and computers to do things commonly associated with intelligent beings. They are trying to make them have reasoning, discover meaning, they generalize and learn from past experiences. Market intelligence. So collecting market intelligence data helps generate ideas or product concepts. Ideas can be tested by market research. Gathering market intelligence involves a number of activities such as scanning newspapers and reports. Now, newspapers are becoming non-existent and nobody really carries around a newspaper, but you can find the articles online. It also involves studying economic data produced by the government. Search engines and corporate websites help monitor competitors' websites to gain market intelligence. And when it says market monitoring competitors' websites, you're not these either machines or methods of um, gathering data. It's not necessarily to find out the organization's secrets, but it's just to analyze, hey, are these people doing something that I should be learning or that I should be doing with my organization? How can I utilize the things that they use? And then it also monitors social networks via sentiment analysis. Facebook and Twitter is no longer the name of uh, the application, it's X. Where can you find good sources for market information? You can go onto the internet. You can use competitors' websites, social media sites, internet searches, Google alerts, social media monitoring tools such as Social Mention and Crimson Hexagon can also be monitored. You can use publications, The Economist, The Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Fortune, Business Week, the McKinsey Report, Sales and Marketing Management, and the Financial Times. You can scan these for basic industry information. The ones that I would advise you to really look at is the Wall Street Journal, of course. Business Week is really good too. Forbes has some interesting articles, but and then maybe the Financial Times, but really the Wall Street Journal encompasses a lot of things. It's not just marketing that it has. It has a lot of information on business. The only thing with Wall Street Journal, you do have to have a subscription to utilize it. Trade shows and associations. Trade shows are another way companies learn about what their competitors are doing. Trade shows usually happen in large arenas such as, let's say, the Honda Center in Orange County. Maybe they might hold a trade show for a certain industry. Maybe they want to hold a trade show for fitness groups or fitness equipment. So that whole arena will be set up so that you can go from one booth to another, seeing what other companies are using in their either workout studios or gyms. Salespeople are a vital source of market intelligence, and they're the company's front line. So just because, even if you're just the salesperson in the front or the person that's stocking the shelves or the cashier, that doesn't mean that you're not involved in the marketing plan. Everything that you see, everything that you enter into the cash register, everything that you report to your manager, or maybe there's a tablet that you guys use to say, oh, this is out of stock or this is in stock, this is not selling. That information is used by your marketing team and leadership to see just what is selling and what is not. Suppliers and industry experts, suppliers can provide a wealth of information. And the reason why is because they're the ones that um, deliver or transport your product, or maybe their products or other organization, your competitors' products. Customers, how customers are behaving can provide important clues. Your customers are very important to you. You need to set up a way to um, see just how your customers are reacting to maybe the setup of your store, the environment, the service they got. You can look on Yelp to search your company. But the best thing for you to do is on your own website, you can have a review area where customers can go and either let you know what you did good or let you know what you did bad. The only way that these review areas can be useful to your organization and to gather market information is to make sure that when some person is posting either a positive review or a negative review, that there's somebody or a department um, responsible for replying and responding to those customers. It's really, you all know as consumers as well, that when you have something good to say, you like it when somebody says, oh, thank you. Thank you very much for doing this. Or maybe if you did have a bad experience, you also like to be responded to and let the company let you know that they're taking action or doing something about your maybe negative experience. Ethics for market intelligent professionals. These are just some things to consider to keep from going over the line or beyond your what your mission and your goal of your organization is. You should continually strive to increase the recognition and respect of the profession, comply with all applicable laws, domestic and international. Remember what we talked about offshoring or outsourcing. Remember, if you want to keep a good reputation within the country or even in our country that you are servicing or working, operating in, make sure that you know that your business over there or that your business communication and transactions are ethical. To accurately disclose all relevant information, including one's identity and organization prior to all interviews, to avoid conflicts of interest in fulfilling one's duties, to provide honest and realistic recommendations and conclusions in the execution of one's duties, to promote this code of ethics within one's company, with third-party contractors, and within the entire profession, and to faithfully adhere to and abide by one's company policies, objectives, and guidelines. And it's really important for if you're going into marketing and marketing intelligence, because you're gathering data, sometimes you might want to take shortcuts, right? Um, there are a lot of companies that do that, and it's it's a it's their way of thinking that they can get ahead. Of course, sometimes it does succeed for them, but to stay within your ethical guidelines and your own company, maybe you're a small business, um, to portray your reputation in a positive light. Make sure to try to put ethics there just to make sure that the people that were working for you are portraying your company in the way that your mission and goals are set up. Is marketing research always correct? No, it is not. It is not foolproof. Research studies have rejected a lot of good ideas, and many things can go wrong along the way that can affect the results of research and the conclusion drawn from it. So these pictures on the side, we've got right here up in this corner, we have Kodak. The reason why the Kodak lost out on the whole move to digital photography is because they weren't willing to spend the money to campaign or to move into the digital industry. They thought that if they saved money, it would be better for them. So while their cameras were still being filmed and developed in like uh, Rite Aid or um, Walmart, CVS, people were using digital cameras that they can just download the images at their home. So because they weren't able to evolve with the current marketing strategies of their either competitors or the times, they weren't able to move forward. Then we have right here below it, we have the new Coke. Because at one time in the early 80s, Coke's profits were not doing well. So they thought, oh, maybe it's because of the flavor of Coke. So they set out this new Coke idea, which had the flavor changed, and they had a really sweet flavor, sweeter than Pepsi. It wasn't that strong blast of flavor that you get from Coke, and it didn't do well. It actually lost them money as well. So they realized, okay, we got to kick this out. So no, new Coke doesn't exist anymore. Then we have over here Crystal Pepsi Crystal. The reason why this was slowly faded out and it no longer exists, maybe it does in some places, but you won't see this on your neighborhood Ralph's soda section. You won't see it in Stater Brothers. You're rarely going to see this, or at your 7-Eleven even. But the Crystal Pepsi was just a light colored uh, soda that supposed to taste exactly like Pepsi. The reason why it didn't fare well was because their target consumers were like, "What is this? Is this a citrus soda?" They were confused, and their target market was like, And when they got it, they were like, "Oh, this tastes like Pepsi. Why is it light colored?" And then it also people were thinking, "Oh, if it's light, does that mean it's more healthier?" Everybody knows, and you all know, there is no soda that's healthier. There's no such thing. So that was kicked to the curb. Down here at the very bottom, we have the Arch Deluxe. I'm not sure if any of you are even old enough to remember this, but Arch Deluxe was put out there as a quote adult burger unquote. So it was something that was advertised to the older um, older market segment. It didn't fare well because usually we go to McDonald's because we want to bring our kids to McDonald's, or maybe we want something fast. We're not really interested in getting a fancy burger. And these burgers weren't cheap. They weren't like um, as cost as at the price as most of McDonald's products. Some people go to McDonald's because they've got some good value deals, but Arch Deluxe was not a value deal. So that pretty much faded out. This is the marketing research process. Before we move on, let me move back to that. So our second extra credit question, I want you guys to tell me what other types of products didn't fare well because of market research, because they thought, oh, our target segment is going to really love this. Just like how Coke thought, oh, they're not buying our drink because it's not sweet enough. Let's just put some extra sugar in there. So I want you to look up other products, not the ones that are shown here on this slide, but think of other products. You can ask your parents, because I'm sure your parents or guardians older than yourself can give you some ideas on what products didn't fare well. And then you can email that. That's your second extra credit question. On to the next slide. This is the marketing research process. Our third extra credit question, what other process does this look like? So this is the marketing research process. There's another process that utilizes the same similar processes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, similar to this, but they utilize it in another industry. If I say more, then I'll give you the idea. But the third extra credit question, is to think about what other process in another industry utilizes this same process. So the marketing research process is to 1, define the problem, 2, design the research, 3, design the data collection forms, 4, specify the sample, 5, collect the data, 6, analyze the data, 7, write the research report and present the findings. I know you guys are gonna just by looking at it without me even telling you those steps, you already know what process we're thinking about. So when you define a problem, if a problem half defined is a problem half solved. So you're not going to just submit, oh, we're having a hard time selling Coke and our profits are going down. What can we do? And then provide just a half solution for that problem. Put the research objective into writing. Narrow down the parameters of the study to the information you actually need to make a good decision. And then remember, a poorly defined problem to be researched will result in lost time and wasted dollars. So always remember, if you're involved in marketing research and you're on the marketing team that's doing this research, remember, if you're not able to define exactly the problem, like Kodak, Coke, Pepsi, and McDonald's, you're going to lose money. And they lost money. But these are big corporations. Kodak didn't do well. You don't see Kodak around now. But Pepsi, Coke, and McDonald's are still strong and they're still growing. But if you create a small business and you don't find the right problem to be researched, you're wasting your company's time and you're wasting your money or their money. Design the research. Research design outlines what data is to be gathered, from whom, how, and when to collect the data, and how to analyze it once it's been obtained. Data sources can be primary or secondary. You all know this because you know of the process that's similar to this process. So primary data is collected by hands-on tools, interviews, surveys, where the subject is answering the question. You are going straight to the source. Secondary data is already collected by your firm or another organization or another person, professional, for purposes other than the marketing research project at hand. So below are examples of primary data sources and then secondary data sources. Sources of secondary data. You can use companies' internal records because somebody already created these records. You're not getting it from the source itself. Syndicated research, primary data that marketing research firms collect and sell to other companies. So if you're purchasing information from a third party, that's secondary data. Scanner-based research, which is information collected by scanners and checkout stands in stores. Because you're not there, if you're the cashier, you're collecting primary data, but if you're recording the data that you get from the cash registers, that's secondary data. Marketing research aggregator, a marketing research company that buys research reports from other marketing research companies and then sells those reports in their entirety or in pieces to other firms. So marketing research aggregators or companies that perform research for your company, this is done in both for-profit and not-for-profit organizations. So whether or not you're collecting profit or whether you're providing a service based on grants that are provided to you by local or state or federal governments, these companies can work for you to gather the information your organization needs. Data brokers and chief privacy officers. Data brokers gather online and offline secondary data about consumers, and they create profiles of them and sell the information to other firms. So these are the people that if you want third-party data from, let's say, an online database that has customers that are going to buy your product, that mainly buy your product from other companies, they are called data brokers. Sources of information include public records, cookies like we mentioned, remember, credit card companies, loyalty programs, obituaries, and newspapers. That is weird, but yes, that's where you can find these data. And our fourth extra credit question, what would you find from obituaries and newspapers? You already know what public records, cookies, credit card companies, and loyalty programs provide, but what do obituaries and newspapers provide? Location-based ads. Ads targeted to consumers by location, which is identified by their mobile devices. And they use geofencing, they use GPS, they use triangulation in order to find out, oh, our consumer is within this location, so let's provide the ads to go out to this specific location. Chief privacy officers, the CPO, are top-level executives responsible for developing policies to ensure their firms are collecting information legally and accurately. Sometimes chief privacy officers can also be the head of your security team or your IT team. So it can have a totally different name, but they do the same thing. Quality of secondary data. You need to know all of this because when you're providing your final project, you don't want to provide references that are from secondary data that is not either reliable or even can provide justification for your findings, because the information on that, either on the website or the article that you're looking at, is not providing you with information that can be verified. That's what I was trying to say. So you want to know who gathered this information. If you go onto websites, usually if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see exactly who is the author or what company a website belongs to. You should be able to see it. If you don't see it there, you will see it right beneath the article title. So those are the two places you want to look at. It's not the web address. It's not the www.sccollege.edu. That's not where the way you can find the author. You have to find the exact person or company that is in charge of that website. And what purpose does this website have? Is it for entertainment? Is it for information? So if you're providing on the final project, if you're utilizing the, let's say, social media to provide justification to, let's say, the findings that you found for the company that you're going to report for, that wouldn't be a good source of data because social media changes all the time and the authors change all the time. Sometimes you can't even track down the person who posted the information. But if you're giving an example and you're providing the exact author of that information, then that's a different story. What does the person or organization that gathered the information have to gain by doing so? So you have to remember that even though we talked in a few slides ago about ethics, not everybody uses ethical behavior. So when you're gathering information or when another person or organization is gathering information, make sure you know why. Why are they doing this? What are they going to use this information for? Are they going to share? Are they just gathering this information because they want to sell it? And then was the information gathered and recorded in a systematic manner? When they say systematic manner, was it like, did you go to a website? Did you verify the data by utilizing other secondary data, or did you see the author? Did you check, like, was it step by step? Is the source of the information accepted as an authority by other experts in the field? They're talking about like articles that professionals and all of you know what an article looks like because it usually has the abstract, the title page, the abstract, and then the article. And then it also has references that you can easily put into the internet or look up and then find the information. Does the article provide objective evidence to support the position presented? So that's another thing you have to think about when you're doing your final project. When you looked up this information, was it from a neutral point of view or was it somebody's point of view? Was it a one-way point of view? Was it looking at both sides of the topic, or was it just saying, no, this is not great, negative, negative, negative? Or was it giving you both sides, pros and cons? Types of research design. So there's the exploratory research design, which is initial investigation of a problem. It's less structured. Secondary data is often used. Depth of interviews, focus groups, case studies, and ethnographies. Answers why, what, or how much questions. So this is similar to what we're going to do because it's not a research paper that you're doing. You are doing a presentation and more like a descriptive report on a company / and their product, or a product and the company. Descriptive research design is gathering hard numbers using surveys to answer questions, answers who, what, where, when, and how questions. So this would be like if you were doing a research paper. This would be the type of research you would use. Casual research design examine cause and effect relationships, answers what if questions, and can include field experiments and test markets. We're not going to do that. So Mainly, you're going to be looking to do this. A lot of you will be using secondary data. You're not going to go up to the CEO of Apple and say, hey, CEO of Apple, what are your thoughts on this? No, you're going to look at interviews maybe, or maybe articles about Apple, what kind of products, and these are all gathered from secondary sources. Designing data collection. How the questions are worded is extremely important. Questions must be written in an unbiased, neutral way. The questions need to be clear and unambiguous. So yes, no questions, true, false questions are better. If you utilize, or multiple choice questions are better because there's only one answer. That's right. Sensitive questions have to be asked carefully. Remember class, um, this this world, you in this country especially, there are different laws and the laws are evolving and changing. So even though you're just in the marketing field or you're just in the business field or you're just in the healthcare field, whatever field you're going to, um, you do have to know the legal ramifications of the questions that you ask in surveys on your application. Maybe you have a small business, what you ask your employees, what you ask your potential employees that are being interviewed. So be very careful when you're asking sensitive questions. Income questions are unwelcome but often asked. You can find the income of or profits for companies on the SEC website. Again, you can find income questions for every company on the SEC website. Double-barreled questions ask two questions in one. Do you think parents should spend more time with their children and or their teachers? Open-ended questions ask respondents to elaborate but are harder to tabulate than closed-ended questions. Like the what we talked about in clear and unambiguous, it's better if you want to get um, straight answers. You don't want to try to use multiple scales to measure what your consumer or what your target market is saying. You want to use multiple choice, yes, no, true, false, right? But if you're willing to look at um, the broader picture, subjective answers, then you use open-ended questions like, what are your feelings on this product? Then they can have a little spot where they write what they're saying instead of you writing the answers that you want them to say. Testing the questionnaire. If the questions are bad, information gathered will be bad. That's common sense. Getting people to complete questionnaires can be difficult. Incentives can help. So if you have like a $5 gift card to Starbucks, or that can't even buy a drink, but just maybe a grande or a tall. Testing the questionnaires face to face on a limited number of respondents before sending improved responses. Long surveys are less likely to be completed, eliminate questions of little value. You all know that you're not going to, like when companies send you, hey, do you want to take this survey at the end of your session? Maybe you're looking at your bank statement or your bank account and they ask you that. When you go to it, you don't want to answer 100 questions. None of us have the time to do that. A lot of you don't have the attention span to look at that. So take that into consideration when you're setting up your surveys and your questionnaires. Specify the sample. A sample is a subset of potential buyers that are representative of the entire target market. A sampling error is any type of marketing research mistake that results because a sample was utilized. A sampling frame is the list from which the sample is drawn. So any errors that you make, it has to be documented and noted in your research, and then you have to restart the study again in order to provide a qualified presentation at the end. Sample types. So there's the probability sample, where each participant has a known and equal chance of being selected. The chance is known because the total number of people in the sampling frame is known. Non-probability sample, a sample that's not drawn in a systematic way, used because it's readily available and convenient. So people who are outside of grocery stores saying, hey, do you want to answer this survey about drunk driving or um, drugs and alcohol? Then they give you like this questionnaire or this survey, or they even ask you the questions and they write down your responses. That would be a non-probability sample because they're trying to get it done fast and it's not systematic. How do companies collect the data? Mystery shoppers, if you aren't ever able to get this position, it's pretty interesting. I'm not sure how well paid they are, but it's an interesting like um, side job where regular people go in as a shopper, but they're actually working for a survey company by the organization that they're shopping at in order to give them information about their experience. So maybe they went to a gas station and they're trying to see, hey, how clean is the gas station and like the area around the gas station? Where was my experience? Was it positive? Was it negative? And why? Then there's the surveys. You can do face to face. Telephone surveys, those are really irritating and nobody really does those except when you're either when you're communicating with your bank, maybe you might do it, or with the other organizations. Text message or multimedia messages, these are very hard because a lot of people are doing, not a lot of people, there are people out there that are sending out spam text messages. So a lot of us are like wary to click the links within the messages. But if we're sure about the organization that's sending us that text message, we might be more um, willing to click on the link. But usually when you get a random text message from a 5-digit number, you're like, this is spam. This is not going to be good for my phone or for me. Mail and hand delivery. Um, a lot of us don't use mail anymore, so it's usually when you see a piece of mail that you don't know where this company is, what this uh, company is about, you usually throw it away. Email and the web. Data collection. When conducting face-to-face or administered by a person over the phone, labor is intensive and costly. Mailing out questionnaires is costly and the response rates can be low. They are very low. They're not can be low. They are very low. Data collected by a computer either over the telephone or on the internet can be very cost effective and in some cases free. Web surveys are fast, a major plus, face-to-face, and mail surveys often take weeks to collect. Surveyors and observers need to be trained to avoid a wide disparity between how different observers and interviewers record the data. That's why it's better to use yes/no questions, true, false, or multiple choice with the answers that you are looking to get. Collecting international marketing research data. Gathering marketing research data in foreign countries poses special challenges because they may have a different way of looking at how companies gather the data. They may not be too friendly at completing these surveys that you put out. Um, they may not be able to read the language that the English language, or maybe they want it to be translated to their own language, and maybe the translation can be um, uh, incorrect, which provides incorrect data. Analyze the data. Once all the data is collected, the researchers begin the data cleaning, removing duplicated data. A statistical program is then used to tabulate or calculate the basic results of the research. And the two most common criteria used to test the soundness of a study are validity and reliability. Remember when we talked about verifying your sources? They also have to be valid and reliable. Write and present the research report. The 6 basic component elements of a research report are as follows. All of you know this. I don't need to go into this information, but one thing I will point out, you are going to be providing an executive summary for the written half of your final project. So a written summary, as executive summary, summarizes all of the details in the report in a very quick way. Another extra credit question, why do you want to have a one-page executive summary? We already talked about this, so you guys should be able to answer that like really fast. Then below, methodology, limitations, findings, recommendations, all of that is going to be in your presentation as well as your executive summary. But in your executive summary, you're going to put it in a way that's like succinct, to the point, and one page. Then you're going to present it so that it looks like I can see what you're reporting on. I can look at the way you research the company or product. What were your findings? And you need to also provide a conclusion. What did you find out? What do you think about the company? What are some suggestions? Or maybe you like what they did. What did you like and why? So we're at the end. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. All right, have a good evening, class.